Go back to some more Alpha Centauri Alien Crossfire with me, Daniel from Dan Has Fun. Last episode, we got to laugh in glee watching Miriam's sea colony pod get wrecked by the mindworms, so that was pretty cool. However, they do have a couple of naval units parked right outside Workers' Paradise. We don't know why, so we played a gamble last episode, and we played, are they going to attack us, the bet? If you don't know, I don't know yet. I just saved at the end of the last episode, went and used the washroom, checked on the dogs, got a white bin bag to put on top of my ring light, because it's now less in my eyes, which is very nice. High-tech solutions here, I know. If you've got any other tricks on how to make your light spread out more on the budget of nothing, let me know. But yes, we're going to continue. We are trying to build our navy out a little bit, because I don't think Lal's going to be that scary. I don't think he really has anywhere to go. Technically, the bottom of this map is almost entirely going to be solid land, but every tile is probably going to be this fungus as well. So I don't think I'm going to see him move away anytime soon. We also saw the outline of a little bit of land up north. I highly doubt anybody's there, so we may try and get a foil over with a unit or two and see, what's going on. But for the time being, we have to see, as we zoom in just a bit, make it easy to see. Are we going to get attacked by Miriam? Let's end turn and see what happens. No, she ran away. She could be going after Lal, because they are ideological opposites. Hard to say. So we got another sea colony pod. We're going to start building colony pods for now. Get an energy bank, because we're going to get to an expensive part of the game. The early games that rolls into the mid-game tends to be about balancing your books while attacking everybody. But right now, we don't really have a perfect person to attack. Lal's doing nothing, and I think we'd rather keep him for trading techs, because he doesn't hate us. I think that's what we're going to keep doing. You're almost fully healed. Oh, that's awesome. So we've got some sea kelp generating. That might change our plan, because our plan before was to start terraforming up and covering this with land. Maybe we won't do that. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't think we'll do that now. Where do we want to put this colony pod? I think we settle them both over on this. No, we shouldn't, because if we want to come over here, we should at least get on with it. Maybe. No. Let's plan this out. So we're going to have one colony pod probably be here or here. Be one of these two tiles. So the next one should probably grab both of these. So it probably wants to go maybe here or here. Yeah, so essentially we still want to keep moving in that direction is what we're getting at. So you want to keep building a road to that tile. I'm going to keep you in place just for now, because we don't... Miriam's troops could come straight back, and one of them looked like it was going to. Hi, Lal. He is submissive still. I will absolutely do that tech swap, because Secrets of the Human Brain gives you a nothing.
Technological advance is an inherently iterative process. One does not simply take sand from the beach and produce a data probe. We use crude tools to fashion better tools, and then our better tools to fashion more precise tools, and so on. Each minor refinement is a step in the process, and all of the steps must be taken. Chairman Shen Jiyang, looking God in the eye.
Thank you. So yes, this is what I was talking about in a previous episode about fungal towers. Being able to bombard them makes them much easier to take out. So this impact battery is artillery, which we will probably want to build one of. Why only one for now? I'll give you a C2 for C2.
Therefore, a wise prince will seek means by which his subjects will always, and in every possible condition of things, have need of his government. And then they will always be faithful to him. Niccolo Machiavelli, The Prince, Data Links.
This is where I was talking about the fact we can't pick the tech but only the area, despite the fact we had for a long time Conquest as one of our 2 research priorities. We never got Doctrine Loyalty, which meant we could never build the Command Nexus. Just through sheer poor luck. Just is what it is. And that's why it's fun, because every game you're going to get a different level of luck. We did get a new social engineering choice, so now we have all 3 choices for politics. Police state, if we picked it, would be diplomatic suicide, because Lal and Miriam hate people in police state. It would be a penalty of 2 efficiency. In return, you get 2 police and 2 support. If we had a way to balance the efficiency penalty out with green, which we cannot get, police state can be useful early game, because support is important, but only in the early game. It tends to become way less important as the game goes by. Alas, we're not going to pick that because it costs us science and money. Nothing else does anything really for us. We're in this weird situation, we have all these options and we don't want any of them. I don't think growth and industry is worth it. Yeah, it's funny that we're going to stay vanilla.
Complete.
And Lal ended communication in a really glitchy way there. That was strange.
Complete.
Almost completed. At least we can build perimeter defenses now, so walls.
Complete.
So some of our major cities are going to get that fairly soon, but maybe not immediately. We need more labs. We finally have the ability to get a colony ship out at sea on this side. And we're probably going to put it here. Again, that protects some of our bigger cities. And it also means we can share some of the kelp. Not all of it. But the kelp's going to expand in both directions. Cancel that. Come out here, please. You're nearly fully healed. And we should probably start removing some of this fungus. There's not a lot of fungus around the Unity crash, which is great news. So it's a relatively safe way to go. Still not convinced we can move that away from Miriam yet. I'm sure at some point we will, but not yet.
Production complete.
Colony
Production
pod.
complete.
Another colony pod. Labour Trust is down to 1 population, so we're not going to go for another one. We still haven't had a place to build the Empath Guild yet, but nobody else has started to build it, so I'm not in a huge rush. Common Ground is not the place to build it. So you are going to get a network node on the go, please.
Complete.
You just built your network node. Get an energy bank, because you could make some reasonable amount of money eventually.
Complete.
We do have C-formers. Get a children's crash. So the thing with C-formers, you can totally min-max them like you have with other workers. But I just like to do automate base with those because it's just too much microing. I just want to see what's on that side before we settle. So yes, our foil is now healthy again. We're going to settle right there. We technically get 1 land tile to use if we want to, but that's not really what we're there for. So we want C-formers, and you want to go for a perimeter defense, because if we're going to get attacked, Miriam's probably going to attack us there. And we can't put a sensor out there, it's too far away. Although, we might... I don't know if it'll count if we put one in this tile. I'm not sure. Not 100% sure, but we do at least want to get a forest over there and a sensor just in case. Remove that fungus. This colony pod is going to backfill. The question is just how far along here do we go? I think we only settle maybe here.
Terraform complete.
Like that. This colony pod... I mean, we could settle up here on land, but again, I still don't think it's a very good idea. I know we talked about that previously. It might even be worth just keeping this and then building a transport to go over to that island, maybe. Maybe that's what we'll do. So we'll send this over to... Send it to Power Grid. Because I'm going to try and develop Power Grid a little bit more. I'm going to send a former over there. We can still use over here, though. Just the question is where. Still can't terraform that tile. Well, we haven't, so we can't settle there. Maybe we finally want to put something down over here. That fungal tower is going to be pretty potent, so we don't want to settle right next to it. I'm not as worried about filling in all these empty tiles because our sea colony pod can do the same thing and cover some of those land ones. If we settle, say, here, that would not be a bad location to go. I think we settle like here. And it looks like Miriam's gone, so I'm going to take this unit and move it in that area so we can see what's going on.
Complete.
Okay. So, power grid. Once you build that, we want a transport foil, please. What we might do, in fact, where did that unit go? Cancel your orders. I'm going to send you to power grid, and we're going to take that with a colony pod over to that little island. Lots of forest. Hercules has gone back to normal. We have an impact foil. We are spending a lot of minerals here, which is not great. That's a great place for a perimeter defense. We do want to make sure they can't do anything with that location. Really, the only question now is, do I settle here or do I settle there? I think we still settle where we are. Deep platform 9. This is going to have a tricky start. You can see the blue is slightly darker. You can't do much in these tiles. The lighter ones you can, but this area should turn out to be okay in the end. See former children's crash after the garrison, please. Okay, there's quite a bit going on over there.
Terraform complete.
We do have roads being built, which is excellent. You're going to build the final road tile there.
Turn complete.
We're going to see if we can find out what Miriam's doing a little bit. We do need a place to get the planetary data links. Let's get it in our capital, also the Empath Guild. Planetary data links are being built, I think, by the university, but we don't have the tech for it, again.
Project initiated.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we don't have any land connection. We knew as much, but now we can confirm it absolutely unequivocally. You're going to stay in place. You're going to build a forest. You're going to get a road.
Complete.
Are we happy with this being our settling location? I think we are. So you're going to sit in place. You're going to get Whipsaw Base. And you're going to get Recycling Tank, a Children's Crash, and a Former. And then you are coming over here. Ah. The Gaians are over here. That's not necessarily terrible news or anything. It's just good to know that they are here. So really the question just becomes, do I say settle here? Or really the question would be, do I settle here? Because I don't want to overlap too much. Oh, Lal has more land maybe over here than I thought, but not by a lot.
Turn complete.
No, so here's his land. So he gets like a little bump of extra territory over here, but yeah, not a lot more. Okay. This is fine. He's clearly... Maybe he has a city here, because he's putting forest out. Okay. Interesting.
Production complete.
Colony pod at Digger's Descent. That's fine. What do you want at this point? I get a couple of probe teams. Probe teams are unique because they don't go towards your mineral cost, so that's helpful. But they also can't do any regular combat. They can, it's just that they're apocalyptically terrible at it. The colony pod is built at Hammer and Tongs, so you're going to stop doing that for now. And you're going to get a perimeter defense, because you're in a pretty dangerous location. You're going to stop in place that turn. You would be an okay farming location, but I think a forest would be more helpful. Living standard is constructed. You're going to need a perimeter defense pretty quickly. Okay, so is this the location? Because we'd be able to do 2 tiles to here, not share too many of them if we put a colony down here, but we'd still get that energy. And we'd have quite a lot of light tiles we can improve. I think we'll settle there. Stevedore Dock, that's a terrible name. You will need a sea former, I'm sure, because you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. What needs prioritizing now? Probably just get more formers in this general location. You're going to sit in place. You're still building your impact foil. This former has built everything it needs to do. What are we looking at in terms of tile usage? So the game's still prioritizing tiles that I'm kind of a little bit surprised by, but again, we'll leave it be just for now. This tile is capped at 2 food just for right this second right now. We still do a farm solar road. Do you want to land another? I'm tempting myself to get a land base on this northern coast, but I don't think it's the way to go. I really don't think it's the way to go. I think the game plan is still to colonize this area. You probably want a center of the island location, just again because it's safe that way. Do you want to settle it right on the pod itself? Because then we could probably put a second one here. Yeah, we'll do that. Just want to check, is that okay? So there's where the city is. Yeah, so UN Haven City is in that little crease.
Turn complete.
I wonder how much land Miriam has, or if it's all connected. How are these two so close together yet and not done anything to each other? This has been a crazy passive game. Usually they're at each other's faces like immediately. Not in this one.
We have reached an informational threshold which can only be crossed by harnessing the speed of light directly. The quickest computations require the fastest possible particles moving along the shortest paths. Since the capability now exists to take our information directly from photons traveling molecular distances, the final act of the information revolution will soon be upon us. Academician Prokhor Zakharov, for I have tasted the fruit.
This is one of the techs where you're like, oh, this tech sucks. It's just a transitionary tech. So orbital computers gives you nothing, but it gives you the ability to research a couple of other things. Superconductor is pretty good for labs. This, the advanced military algorithms gives you AAA tracking, which is pretty helpful, but not right now.
Production complete. Production complete.
Get your unit in place. This might want to be a farmable location. I think that is a farm mine road and some interesting glitching going out right now. What on earth is happening there? There we go. Weird.
Terraform complete.
I guess it's all the zooming in and out and the game's like, what are you doing? I think what we want to do is just reduce some of the fungus in that area at this point. Is that a little island dollop, maybe? I know it looks ridiculous, but I'm going around that way because I don't want to spawn native life while I'm just a colony pod. More kelp expanding, fantastic. Get rid of that fungus. I just want to see what's over here. Okay, nothing super interesting. Oh, there's Morgan. I think we knew he was in this area, but he's closer than I thought. So he's magnanimous as well. I am not attacked. So this is what usually cycles. So Morgan wants us to attack Miriam. Considering he's feeble and she's our friend, no. I'm also not going to do the Treaty of Friendship because it's more beneficial to him than me, and it will probably annoy Miriam. I will see if he will trade tech, though. He will give us a tech if we pay him.
The
That's
genetic
great.
code does not and cannot specify the nature and position of every capillary in the body or every neuron in the brain. What it can do is describe the underlying fractal pattern which creates them. Academician Prokhor Zakharov, Nonlinear Genetics.
So there are 3 techs in this game that I would call the lifting techs, where that ceiling of 2 is lifted. Gene splicing is typically the first one you get, and it's for food. It also lets you build the research hospital. They are quite expensive at 3 maintenance, but they are very good, because they're kind of like a halfway house between network nodes and hologram theaters. So you get a bit more psych, more labs for science, and it reduces drone numbers by 1. It's pretty good. And they don't have another tech to sell us, so that's why we don't have that option. I'm going to ask them, will they stop attacking Miriam? And as we expected, he's like, I can't do that because it's Miriam that attacked me. We kind of figured that would be the case, but that's just confirmation. We're going to do some more scouting. And we're going to do some more fungus removal. You'd think the planet would be especially angry when you remove the fungus, but it doesn't seem to agitate them anymore than they already are anyway. The game's bugging because we clearly have more than 10 bases now. So let's get Liberty Plant. We are not at the point yet where the first population is a drone. That can and probably will happen. When that does start to happen, it's gonna suck. But we are not there yet. Liberty Plant is down. We're going to get a sensor because I don't know if that can help detect a sea base or not. So we're going to learn something. We don't want to get too close to Miriam in terms of settling because she'll just get incredibly angry. But she's not that strong, according to the game. But you do have to remember that one of the key components for this is your tech, and she is going to naturally be miles behind. And it's why I'm in no rush to attack her. Because the further the game goes by, the weaker she tends to get unless she starts snowballing. And she doesn't appear to have snowballed against Morgan, even though she's at war with him. So I'm okay with that. Children's Crash is created. This city is still not great, but it's a heck of a lot better than before it was, you know, assisted anyway. Get a network node. You finally have a garrison. Get rid of this fungus. That is a forest if ever I've seen one. You need a sensor. You need a sensor. Everybody gets a sensor. Still wondering if I should build a road into Lao. Still not going to do it yet. What I'm currently doing is just clearing out all the garbage. 2 naval units are getting pretty close together, so I'm going to do some redundant scouting. That was a little bit dangerous, but it's fine. It just contained a map. Oh, whoopee. This is technically a peninsula because of the spaghetti thin path between them. But Morgan can't expand there because there's too many mind worms. Classic. Classic mind worms ruining everybody's day. I mean, it is their house that we're demolishing, so I don't blame them.
Production complete.
Energy bank is created. What do I want to do at Steel Fount? Get a... It's going to be a bit weird, but get a transport foil, I think. And then we're going to guide that around the Isle. Energy base is done at drilling grounds. You're on the corner, so get a perimeter defense. Because we're evidently not getting the secret project where you get them all for free. Our capital is definitely getting better. We're going to clear the fungus around it just so it's safer. And the question now is, where do I settle my sea colony pod? Because this would be a pretty good location. We get some land, albeit it's fungus right now and it's useless. We get the food bonus, albeit it's on fungus, so it's useless. But it also helps defend our location. I think we just settled... I think we settle there. The only reason why I'm hesitating is that means this tile will be unusable. But we could use that for a borehole. We haven't built a borehole yet. We're going to have to do that at some point. Because in the near future, hopefully, we're going to get to the point where the mineral and energy caps are lifted too. Once that happens, we're in winner-winner chicken dinner. Just going to see how much we can see around these guys. So, that, I think, is yellow border, so that's still going to be Morgan. Oh, hi, Miriam. She's obstinate now, which I guess is slightly better than seething. I don't want to give you that. No.
Terraform complete.
Okay, well, we'll take that pod next turn.
Enemy project initiated.
That's a wonder I want. That's not the one I'm beelining for, but the planetary transit system for us would be amazing. Because every colony you found starts at population 3 rather than 1.
Production complete.
Children's creche is built. Get a network node, because you're going to produce a lot of energy, so you're going to produce a lot of labs.
Production complete.
You've got your sentinels. Excellent. Get rid of that fungus. Those two are going to go kind of in a strip together. So I still can't tell if this works for that sea location, but I guess we'll find out in due course. So this is starting to become at least somewhat habitable. This area is not going to be, though, so we'll send a former over to help with that. Probably quickest to go via the road.
Complete. Pod recovered.
Okay, it's just a map. This piece of land might be a reasonable size.
Turn complete. Production complete.
So there's the transport foil. So there's a lot of ways the transport foil can go wrong, so we do have to keep a close eye out. Get a children's crash.
Having now established a secure perimeter, we have made ourselves relatively safe from enemy incursions. But against the seemingly random attacks by planet's native life, only our array of warning sensors can help us. For the mindworms infiltrate through every crevice and chew through anything softer than plasma steel. Lady Deidre Sky, the early years.
If you're not terrified by that thought, I don't know what does terrify you. You're making good money. An energy lab would be a thing for you. Get that done. And why is your rover still in the way? That's going to block my movement too. You suck. We'll clear that fungus instead then for the time being. And I'm going to get a backup sensor there just in case, because having a contingent one is important because it could get bombarded. You're going to clear fungus. So our transport foil is finally out and about. It can only hold 2 cargo because it's the first type and it's rubbish. So we want to load 2 units on it. We're going to load our colony pod and we're going to load our impact rover. Other thing about transport foils is that whatever chassis they have, they get 1 movement less. So a foil has a default movement of 4. Transport only has a movement of 3. Oh, I see. Get it because we're at sea. But no, they are expanding sea colony pods, which makes sense. Anvil of Man. Out in the middle of nowhere, so I will do my best to help you, but it might be a little bit, so you do your best.
Turn complete.
Yeah, this city's rubbish off the get-go. At least it has a couple of river tiles it can work, but it's not great.
Production complete.
Thank you for the second transport foil. And we want to get a biology lab, because this area is kind of a generalist location at Steel Found.
Complete.
Thank you.
Complete.
Clear the fungus. You built the road. This rover is in the way spectacularly, and it's very, very annoying. On the flip side, we're blocking it, so at least there's that. So, how do we want to go about this? Because our transport can't go this way because it's land. We can go around, but it's going to take an eternity. So I'm tempted instead just to, just for now, just to move it into Anvil of Man. Then we're going to see what we need to do to move things out. Because I always like a backup in case I have mine blown up. 1, 2, 3. We do not want to leave the ship. 2, 3. This location, I can't guarantee it, but with this much fungus, there's probably ruins here. So the ruins is a landmark where there's a 3x3 of monoliths just with the middle tile removed. It's just like a plain rocky tile. That's probably what this is. So if we want to get some sea colony pods out there, that would probably be a good idea. You are going to take forever to grow, so you can only probably do 1 sea colony pod. But we definitely want to get that down, because we don't want anybody else to get it. Okay, that's not in Miriam's territory, so she shouldn't be too angry. Any more angry than normal, anyway. I want to say hi to the Hive and the University, because I want to be able to trade techs with, well, the latter, I'm sure, but the former might have something. You're going to get a children's crash, and then you're going to start on sea colony pods again as well. After you get your network node, you're only at +1 food. I probably shouldn't build it there. Like, even living standard's going to end up with more food than you. The problem, again, is because I haven't really settled much on the north coast until a handful of turns ago. I don't really have an easy way of getting sea colony pods out to the north of my island.
Insufficient energy.
I'm going to buy that now, so I don't forget. And then you're going to get a perimeter defense straight away. There you go. Yeah, okay. I think that's okay. And then, yeah, we will slowly start being able to produce sea colony pods, because we're going to need at least 4 up here. We've got more forest, more kelp, more forest, more kelp.
Production complete.
And we have the Empath Guild, so let's go watch this cutscene. They do talk, I promise.
Symbols are the key to telepathy. The mind wraps its secrets in symbols. When we discover the symbols that shape our enemy's thought, we can penetrate the vault of his mind. Lady Deirdre Sky, Our Secret War.
I know that's not a super interesting cutscene, but 9% of them are just... They're really clever and really creepy at the same time. So yeah, the Empath Guild allows you to contact any leader, gives you an infiltrator in every faction, and more votes. The more votes isn't going to be pertinent right now, but it's still very helpful later. We've got a probe team, we're going to want some more. And you are going to want... Biology lab. We still haven't seen any drones yet.
Complete.
We are on librarian difficulty, I promise. You... Probably want an energy bank. Eventually you'll be able to pump out quite a lot, I think. Since we have comm frequencies for all the other factions, we can now convene the Planetary Council. Which we're going to do. We're going to do this episode. We'll talk to the other factions afterwards, but we'll do at least the Planetary Council. We have 76 votes because it's based on your population and plus any inherent bonuses you have. Nobody has a penalty to this. Elect Planetary Governor. So... that's kind of disappointing. So despite the fact that we're friends with Miriam and Lal, neither of them will vote for us. They've abstained. We could click on them and get them to vote for us, but we don't need to, because Zakharov is at 57 votes. CEO Morgan is at 6. These two being friends is not a surprise, because they kind of align in terms of what they want to do. They both want to be left alone to do their thing. In Zakharov's case, it's about, producing science and technology. For Morgan, it's about producing money. These two, they aren't both pacifist. I mean, no faction in this game is pacifist. But CO Morgan is probably the least aggressive of the AI factions that we're going to contend with. The university is very erratic. But we don't have to bribe anybody. We can just vote for ourselves. We've been elected because we have the most votes. Now, the biggest benefit of this, in my opinion, is something we already have because of the Empath Guild, the infiltration piece. But we're also going to get a little bit more money. I was going to explain here. So you've been elected planetary governor. As a governor, you hold an executive veto in the planetary council. I mean, that's kind of useful, but not usually. You gain +1 energy in commercial transactions at each base, which is great news. And your planetary bureaucracy provides you with infiltrator information, which we already know about. So as an example, if we just look at Lau, because he's all in one place, he only has 4 cities that we know of. You don't get a map of everything that everyone has, so you only get infiltrator on things you can see. But we can see here that he's building a sea colony pod, which he might put here and be really annoying, but we'll see. He's building the planetary transit system. We can see how many turns he has left on it, and he has tons. He has drones, which is really weird given that he should get a bonus to talents to balance that out, but he has a lot of drones. We can see what buildings he has. He has a recreation commons, so at least there's that. But yeah, he has a lot going on. We can actually see their commerce, so they're getting nothing, but we're getting 1. So we can see what's going on here. It's going to take him only 6 more turns to get a sea colony pod, so that's interesting. But yeah, everything else in there is not very exciting. Morgan's getting laser infantry, who cares? The Gaians are also going for the citizens. Well, they're going for a different wonder, but the Citizens Defense Force. This is what I want, but I can't do. Their capital city is not bad. They're making 12 energy and 11 labs. So that's pretty good. Because we got that convenient bonus where we can see everyone's capital, we can at least see this information. They're not going to make it in time. Their capital's not very good. They've not done a lot of developing, and they're overlapping a bit too. Whereas, say, the Hive, their capital also sucks. So, that's a shame. That's a big shame. What about Miriam's? Where even is her capital? Yeah, her capital's New Jerusalem. They actually have a hunger shortfall. So, the AI, and I thought the PRACX update might help with this, but this city is an absolutely perfect example of all the things the AI tends to do wrong. She has way too many units, so her upkeep is astronomical. Even with her +2 support, she is struggling to build anything. She only has 3 of those in her city too, which is interesting, but yeah, so she is only at 2 minerals. She should be at 7, which would be reasonable for this point in the game. She's losing food, so her population is going to go down at this rate. She hasn't built, what, anything other than 1 farm, a mine, a forest, and a second mine. There's barely anything here. Yeah, all this is bad. And she's building another unit. Miriam, everybody. But we'll do more next episode. What an interesting point to jump off from. So we're in good state. Let's be honest. We're doing pretty well. We're not doing amazingly. Like, the problem is Zakharov we can't really do anything with right now, and it's very apparent that nobody else is going to do anything about him either. But we're very, very close looking at that graph. But we'll continue next episode. Hopefully you have been enjoying the series. I'm enjoying playing it. Like I said, the early game's really fun. I do enjoy this part. So like the video if you did, and subscribe to see more. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.